Welcome back to Risque Business News. I'm May.
And I'm Laura. And today we are going to be talking about the story of the friend AI pendant that is meant to be your friend. The competing founders who both made the same idea and then fought each other online.
Well, they're not friends. Doesn't sound like.
They're not. In the spirit of friendship, they decided to become literally enemies. But it's been very funny. You may have seen this. It's gone like semi-viral online. I decided to look a little bit more into it. And these characters are really something. I hope they make a lot of money because they are not making a lot of friends.
God bless humanity.
All right. Enjoy.
Where's the money?
I don't understand how you make money.
Hold
from
on.
that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm going to ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
It's to make money. It's Risque Business News.
Before everybody freaks out in the comments and says, May, aren't you pregnant? May?
Not anymore.
Oh God!
Just kidding.
Could you imagine? That's my announcement. I'm like, I lost. I wouldn't even joke about that.
Cheers.
No,
No, of course
no.
not.
This is a
We'll take it back.
non-alcoholic wine called Shirley. So we'll see how this goes.
I'll say it. It looks like shit. This is an alcoholic wine. Am I drinking alone right now?
No,
Kind of.
I'm drinking a beverage that looks like your beverage,
Yeah.
except
okay.
mine's fuzzy for some
All right,
fucking
well,
reason.
I guess cheers.
Cheers.
To the baby.
To the baby.
Glad it's still with us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's alive and well. It's looking good. Has a full skeleton. It's crazy.
What?
Yeah.
It's like fully developed skeleton?
I mean, I don't think so, but
Well, not like obviously to
but, like-
scale, but like the bones are all around.
Yeah, so
minus the
we-
skull. Doesn't the skull come in like pieces?
no. Well, it's got like a big head, and like
But the skull comes in pieces, right?
no, there's like one part of it that like fuses together, and then you have like the soft spot or whatever. But then also, anyway, like during the sonogram today, there was like you could see its back, and it had all its ribs, big spine.
Wow.
Like kidneys, legs, arms. It's crazy.
Good for it. It's
Yeah.
like 4 months old.
Yeah, it's only 4 months old. It has a tiny penis.
No.
Yeah, tiny penis.
What does it
pees
need that
inside of
for?
me.
Why is it pee?
I don't know. That's what they told me.
No way.
Yeah, the baby pees inside
Does
of
it
me.
shit?
I assume so. I don't know where it goes.
Yeah, I like how they left that out.
Yeah.
They're like, you don't need to worry about that part. You know when you don't feel so well? Well, the baby shitting you.
I know. When they were like, yeah, baby's totally healthy, looks great. I was like, wow, it's finally nice to be like good at something.
Yeah, you're crushing.
I was like, wow, I'm not even thinking about it, dude. I'm just like doing it.
I'm just living. I'm drinking
just-
Shirley's.
Yeah. To tell you the truth, I really had the intention of looking this up and reading an entire article. I read a headline. So
That's good.
I know the gist, but
That's an article nowadays.
That's an article. That's what everybody knows about everything. Is just the headline. So I'm crushing it.
I hope it had a lot of words.
Well, let's go with 10 words.
That's good. All right. Well, what do you think? Wait, how about okay. What do you think this story is about?
Okay. I think this story is like you basically have like a Polly Pocket that you bring around with you, but it's like linked to maybe like your headphones or something, and it talks to you. So you have this parasocial relationship with this AI bot, but it's your friend, but like it learns what you like. So then it also likes those same hobbies, kind of like the dating girlfriends, the AI girlfriends.
Yeah. Not bad. Polly Pocket. I like that. We should send that to them. So basically the concept here is there's 2 guys and there's drama between them. We'll talk about the drama in a moment. But just the technology as a whole, I thought we could start there and if we think it's a good idea or not. So the version that they created, and there's probably different versions that'll come around and that have been, but what they're making specifically is a necklace. And it's a pendant on the necklace that looks like kind of like an AirTag.
Oh no,
You know?
they got to make it more hidden because it's going to be taboo for a long time.
Oh my God. Because Okay, so the point of it, let me just tell you what it does and why I'm like, it's not bad.
Oh, okay.
It's always listening, which that's fucking weird. And recording everything you're talking about.
Yeah, but
feeding.
I mean, hello.
I know, but this is like literally feeding your conversations directly into an AI chatbot. So some of them do like the OpenAI version, and there's other versions that they do. And then from there, the AI bot will respond back to you. If you ask it a question, it'll of course respond back to you, or it'll text you like, great job on that conversation.
Oh my God.
Or reminder to do whatever your boss just told you to do or something like that.
That's useful.
And it'll keep kind of a record of like what you were up to, like who you talked to, what you talked about, things like that.
Oh, wow.
And so then you'll get push notifications or text based on what's going on.
Wow.
From there.
Wow.
And so you're kind of going through every element that I went through when I first heard about this, because my first response was like horrified.
Yes.
Super creepy. Also possibly illegal. I'll say that. It's illegal to record conversations without consent in 11 states.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you were wearing one of those, technically, according to the law, you'd have to like disclose it and ask permission.
I also feel like this is going to be such a thorn in so many relationships, because it's like,
oh my God.
It's like, let me play the tapes.
Said, here you go.
Yeah, that's exactly
I have wanted
what
one
you
of that.
said.
But that's my whole point is I'm like, ooh, that'd be nice. Because God damn it, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I'm the person who would like that. However, the reason that one of the guys came up with the idea and kind of the application that I do think would be useful in was like conferences or something like that, where you're meeting 80 people in a day and you're like, bitch, I don't fucking remember.
That's a great idea.
And instead of like having to write things down in your notebook, it like just kind of records and puts it just a transcript of all the shit that was going down and like your action items from each conversation. Like if you're working in sales, or frankly any of these people who are working in these tech, or actually any conference, that would be super useful.
It would be. I just hate the concept of like you can't be present enough to remember things on your own.
Agreed. And I think for your day-to-day life, I'm like, grow up, be an adult.
Yeah.
But conferences are the one where every single time I do them, I'm like, how was I supposed? There's simply too many people. I've spoken to quite literally the triple digits of people today.
Right. And also like in your line of work, it's like I spoke to 80 old white men.
Old white men.
They all wearing the same exact shirt.
The same. Do they do the same thing? They sure do. Slight variations on their tech stack.
Right.
That I should remember. Oh, do I need to remember when their CrowdStrike subscription is coming up? I don't fucking remember.
I don't know.
Because I don't care. But I have to care.
Right.
It's my job.
Like my line of work, I can at least be like, oh, that was that woman in the red heels, and then this was the other woman wearing the cheetah, like whatever.
Ooh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
I will say the women do really stand out. You remember the conversations with the women in my line of work. I work in security, if anyone's just listening to this podcast and was like, what?
Yeah.
So point being, I can kind of see at least some version of this having success in the market.
Okay.
At some point. I could see myself, if it became not weirdly socially taboo, being like, hey, okay, fine, I'll toss my friend on for this conference this week just to like help alongside.
Yeah.
But I do think there's so much that needs to happen in the interim for it to not be just unbelievably socially weird.
Yeah.
Or like, what, do you wear it under your shirt?
I mean, I guess, but like, imagine you're dating some guy and then he takes his shirt off and he has a friend.
No, get out. Get out of my bedroom. Or your bedroom. I own your place now. You need to go. That is a boner killer there.
So,
oh my God.
So can you have conversations with it? Like,
so yes, you can.
Okay.
I think you can ask it for, I mean, I think it probably just depends on the specific one and how mature it is. But the concept being that it would be your friend. We'll talk more about this in a little bit, but some of them are meant more as like assistant, like task management and stuff like that. That
makes sense.
And that is the version that I'm like, I see the utility in it. The version that is more meant for companionship and to keep you from being lonely, like, we gotta fucking rein it in. We gotta rein it in before I get just really depressed.
I know. I mean,
for humanity,
the loneliness epidemic is brutal.
It's brutal.
It's crazy that they found a business opportunity because no one has friends anymore.
I don't know. Like, just go talk to a human being.
They can't do it.
Or
they
go
really
on
can't
a chat room.
Yeah. Also, talk about echo chambers. Like, I remember when we covered AI girlfriends. It's like, oh, the girlfriend likes what you like, and then it will talk back to you how you prefer it, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, so now we have these lives where you drive in your car, you listen to the radio that you've curated. You go home, you watch the TV that you've curated. It's no longer like every single household across the United States is watching Seinfeld at this time and we all have this shared experience. There's like very few shared experiences anymore. And now like you can even curate these echo chambers of
hyper specific echo chambers of oh, this like hentai that just came out was awesome. Yes. My AI girlfriend's also into hentai. It's like so weird.
It's such a coincidence.
I really do love when there's things that happen that grab the collective consciousness of the country.
It's fun.
God, it's fun. Ooh, it's a good time.
It's really great. Like even like the those billionaires that died in the submarine.
Yes.
Every single person was talking about that.
Very, very sad. Obviously sad for the billionaires, but it was kind of fun.
It was just interesting to have something like an event that everyone's talking about. That's why like the Super Bowl, like I'm not into sports, but I was like, yes, we're all watching this. Yes. Every single person in this country, for the most part, is watching this. Yeah.
And politics, frankly. Now, obviously, that's a lot more loaded.
Oof, yeah.
But when there's those moments that are just entertaining, I'm like, that was a good time.
Yeah.
Then you think about the implications. And you're like, oh, not as good of a time anymore.
Whatever. Just keep it surface level.
Keep it surface level. This is not the first time someone has tried to do this. Not like a revolutionary idea. I feel like if you gave any person like an hour to be like, hey, what could be a useful invention? This would be something they'd come up with. But recently with the introduction of the language models and stuff like that, it's become a lot more of a thing that could be done. Realistically, I think this is mostly a microphone that's just sitting here.
Yeah.
And like Bluetooth connected to your phone.
Wires.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Literally. And then I think it just Bluetooths to your phone and your phone feeds it into the chat bot, which I think is the main real product that these guys are selling. There is an element of the hardware to it, but
I also think it could be a good learning tool specifically for autistic kids. Because it's like,
what a hyper specific application.
Well, it's like if you're going out and you're talking to real people, it'd be like, great job. Just remember to ask them a question about themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I could use that.
Yeah.
It's like, why were you a dick for no reason? I'm like, I had 3 glasses of wine.
Right.
Oh.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Great coaching. Thank you. Thank you, friend.
Right. But I hate taking away like authenticity, but it would also be really nice to be like, what the fuck is that person's name? And it's like scanning their face. And it's like,
would adore.
This is Becky. You talked last time about how she had 2 kids. She lives in Fort Greene. Like, and you're like, oh my God, thank God.
But that's the weird thing is it doesn't have a video. So it would have to do it off the person's voice.
I guess so, yeah.
There's no way it's going to get it right. It's like, that's Cindy. And I'm like, no.
That's not
that
Cindy.
Was Becky, okay?
I don't know. Maybe it would get it right, though. I feel like Alexa knows who it's talking to.
Maybe I'm underestimating the maturity of these, but probably not.
I'm like, you keep saying maturity. I'm like, one's super immature, just sending dick pics to your phone. It's like, all right, AI friend.
My AI friend is a piece of shit, unemployed idiot.
Yeah.
Just never had a
I hope mine's immature. That's way more fun.
Yeah. It's like you're just having like a business meeting and it's push notification dick pics. And you're like,
dick pics. Like fucking those crazy clips of people like fighting in the streets.
It's like, thoughts on this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm busy. And it's like, I deleted all your notifications for the rest of the day. Good luck.
Yeah.
So there's a couple other AI wearables that have been made in the past, but they'd never caught on. Humane, which hell of a name, did a $700 AI pin.
No way.
So something you would pin, which also kind of makes more sense to me than a necklace. Like putting a little pin on and you can put it wherever or like inside or something.
No,
You like a necklace better?
I like a necklace better.
Great. Well,
we're at odds.
They went out of business, so you're fucked, dude. I think they did. Yeah, they flopped hard. And then there was another one that was a $200 rabbit.
Oh, well, that sounds like a sex toy.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was like, here's your problem: is if I said I just spent $200 on a rabbit, Matt would be like, oh, okay.
I gotta be honest, AI friend is fucking genius because everyone's talking about it because they just assume it's literally lonely people, but there's other applications. So then they look into it, they're like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah, okay, that makes sense.
It's catchy though; it grabs your attention because people are like, oh no,
oh my God,
stupid thing.
I'm so glad you said that because that's gonna become important later on. Okay, so let's talk about the 2 people who are the stars of this specific show, not you and I. Avi Schiffman. You want to write him down?
Oh, it's a man?
Avi.
Oh, Avi. I thought you said Abby.
Avi
Avi.
Schiffman, this gentleman right here. He is
Avi
number 1. And then number 2,
Schiffman.
I'll just give him to you now so that you can put him on the other side of the board.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys liked the board in the last episode, but we enjoyed it.
Yeah, you guys let us know. Or
We-
otherwise, this is a waste of everyone's time
I don't know.
and
I
money. I don't know how money, but you get it.
Yes, it's wasting your money. I think you're going to get a thrill of power from writing on this board because that's what I got in the last episode. I was like, this is great.
Okay.
I can really make some judgments on what these people are.
Okay, and who's the other guy?
I mean, for instance, he's already number 1.
He's number 1.
There you go. Here we go. Shevchenko.
Okay, I'm going to do my best.
That's not bad.
Shevchenko?
It's Evchenko, but like, you know what? Just leave it.
It's fine. And
He's
he's
number 2,
2.
so it doesn't fucking matter.
Number 2. What a fucking nerd.
What a fucking nerd.
Silver medal.
Silver medal already out the gate.
No one remembers the silver medal.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't. It's true. Okay, so Avi, this is him. Look at this little boy. He is 22 by now, but he
Are
was
you
21 in this
kidding
picture.
me?
Yeah, he's a baby. That is what we call an infant child. For a man, I'm surprised he can walk.
Yeah.
This guy's fucking fresh out of the womb.
Dude, people are wild.
They need to relax. I'll say it.
This is someone who would invent something like this and call it friend AI because you know what?
Because he's meeting his first friend because
He's
he's a baby boy.
He's a baby boy. He's in kindergarten.
He can barely get around on his own.
He's learning how to share the blocks.
He really is. And get this is not his first thing that he's been up to. He's been
When? So did he graduate college wicked fucking early or something?
I'll tell you. Okay, so he's a self-taught web designer. He built his first
Damn.
website at 7 years old.
Wow.
Those parents need to be shot.
Yes.
Like fucking relax.
Yeah, they got to cool it.
Because you know he didn't. You think he wanted to build his website at 7 years?
I don't know.
Maybe he did.
Maybe.
But here's the reality. Probably he had some overbearing parents who were like,
yeah.
Maybe not, but more than likely, they entered him in some coding boot camp bullshit. And you build a website at the end of it. And they were like, it's for 10 and up. And they were like, we'll pay you $3,000 to put our 7-year-old in there.
Right.
You know? I've made all of that up. Who knows?
No, I'm like, oh, what a horrible childhood. I'm just co-signing it immediately.
Yeah, I know. We're like, his parents need to be talked to.
No, that is fucking crazy. That is crazy. I feel like which I would, I won't. But if I had a son like that, I would be like, the lessons I'm going to teach you are just how to chill out and realize we're on a floating rock and like go to the beach.
Go to the beach.
Go to the beach, dude. Play in the fucking
You're
sand.
7, play with blocks? Like, what do you do at 7?
Color?
Color? That sounds right.
Yeah, you color a lot. I don't know.
Legos? That feels applicable.
You could build some Legos. I don't know. That's like an interesting age.
I don't know what 7-year-olds do.
You could play like cards or something with your parents.
Blackjack.
You can go to the casino.
You can hit the slots. Okay. So that was what he was doing at 7. Don't worry. It doesn't get better from here. When he was 17 as a high school senior, he built ncove2019.live. Now, you might not remember this, but this is going way back to the COVID-19 epidemic, where you remember how we had all those trackers where you could see like how many cases there were around the world?
No.
There was like Twitter accounts that would take this information and put it out on Twitter. I feel like that's where I consumed most of it. But I do remember there were like people who would be stalking this information quite a bit. Matthew was one of them. And just to like see what the spikes were looking like and stuff like that. This is the website. It was last updated 9 months ago, and it gave you, up-to-date information on COVID-19 cases, how many people had died, how many tests there were done, recoveries, things like that. He was 17. This is pretty normal shit for a 17-year-old to get into.
That's so wild.
But he developed this website that was really popular. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Tens of millions of daily users.
Whoa.
To be fair, people were locked in their homes, so they had time. They had time to dig into the COVID-19 website, case tracking website. And he built it before there were even a dozen reported cases in the U.S. So,
oh, my God. So he knew.
Yeah. So he started COVID.
He started COVID. That's so weird.
What a fucked up thing for him to do. No. So this is obviously like unbelievably impressive for us. Yeah, write that down. Started COVID. As infections were going up, he had already had this website in place. So it obviously got super, 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 super popular.
Yeah.
And people were like, who made this? And then they were like, oh, a 17-year-old?
That's insane.
Are you crazy? And people freaked out, as you can imagine. He got praise from Anthony Fauci,
Okay.
from the Fauci. He became
The disgraced Fauci.
the disgraced Fauci.
Kind of, though. But anyway.
Well, anyway, he was aligned with this
Okay.
gentleman. He became a youth ambassador to the UN. They're just accepting anybody nowadays.
Yeah, right?
God damn. He was a 2020 Webby Person of the Year. Put that down.
I'll put that down.
Yeah. Big year. And then he was called a boy genius in one of the many articles about him.
I mean, yeah, I would, yes.
I would definitely give him that credit. Because he was 17. I still feel like this is like his parents did it. Like his dad wrote this thing and was like, no, it's fucking this kid.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you know what I mean? Like when your mom does your project and you show up and your project's like way too good at school.
Yes.
Everyone's like, did you make that?
I
Or-
fucking hated those kids, by the way. We'd have to do like some geometry project and they would come in with like perfect woodwork. I'm like, oh yeah, you fucking, are you kidding me?
I've seen you handwrite.
We're 9. We're 9 years old. I'm supposed to believe you're in your basement with a saw.
You're soldering down
Yeah.
there.
You're
You've got a fucking welding equipment.
Are you kidding me right now? And I'm over here with my fucking cardboard box like a 9-year-old.
like a 9-year-old, like normal with a diorama?
Yeah, exactly.
Your
Made out of
parents own a
paper
construction
mache.
company. I don't want to fucking hear it out of you.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
You know
Fuck
who
you.
you are.
Avi. Just kidding. Look at this kid. He's so young.
He's very young.
And I actually kind of feel bad for him right now because
Oh,
he
no.
got not that bad. But
Okay.
Fucking relax. But you're so sympathetic. So Avi got really famous at this point in his life, and 17 is not great for men. It's a tough age for boys. You have no testosterone in your body yet. No. None. You are more of a woman than I've ever been at that point.
And it's just like it's a turbulent time.
It is a tough time, and there are so many pictures of him as a 17-year-old on the internet. When you look him up, that is the shit that comes up. He pops up as just this little boy.
Yep.
Over and over, different images of him. And all these websites being like, amazing, wunderkind. Like,
yeah, tiny,
incredible.
tiny man.
The tiniest man you've ever seen. He's a child. This is a little boy. And now he's 22 and he's like, can't escape it.
Yeah, well,
It's what you get for doing
22
shit.
in my mind is still a little boy. So
I agree. I'm going to show you this. I was laughing because for a while, look, it's just him in his backyard.
oh my God.
He's just so young.
Where's he from?
He is from Washington State, I
Okay.
believe. And he now lives in the Bay Area. Both these characters do.
Okay.
So he built this COVID website, gets super popular, and it's obviously a hit for obvious reasons. And people wanted to buy ad space on it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And he apparently turned all of them down, including one offer for $8 million.
Why? Why? would
That's
you
what
do
I
such a
said. I would
thing?
have,
Yeah.
I mean, turn it over, man.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, he must come from a rich family. I didn't find information on that, but if my kid does some shit and gets offered $8 million to not even sell it, to just throw an ad on it, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Unless it's for like hatespeech.com.
Right. Unless it's for neonazisapparel.com,
Like,
then no. Then yeah,
it's
sure,
like-
fine.
It's a direct recruitment ad for ISIS. I'm
yeah.
like, ah.
It's selling
Ugh.
the KKK's merch. It's just like, get your fucking
hoods.
head. Yeah, get your hood here.
And even then I'd be
.com.
like, can you do better than 8? Can you do
Right.
better than 8?
Yeah, can we do 10?
We do
if we're
10.
bumping it up to 10, we'll just do this, run the ad, shut it down. Shut it down.
HamasLovers.com.
HamasLovers.com.
Anyway, he didn't take the money. And so maybe it was from one of those websites that we just listed. Point being, he did not seem at all concerned or focused on making money with the whole thing. He said that he didn't want to give up creative autonomy on the COVID tracker. Just giving it a lot. Where are you
man
going to get creative?
is severely autistic.
Something's fucking off
Yeah.
with him. So he turned down all of the ads. Since then, by the way, I didn't have like a fluid place to put this in the story, but this is kind of jumping ahead. He has been accused of stealing elements of that website. So there was a Twitter thread that kind of popped off about 2 years ago. So mine, actually, I think it originally popped off back in the day and then came back up 2 more years later. Mm-hmm. So it's been an ongoing conversation. And this person called Fast Zero RER, I want to give him credit because he didn't get credit originally. So there's your credit, dude. He said that there was a volunteer group on Reddit that had generated this map that Avi had stolen for his website of the content. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And then he has this whole long post on Reddit where he has all of like his receipts or whatever.
It's like technical. We're like, this might as well be Chinese to
like,
us.
I don't care. I mean, it's like all in English and I'm like, oh, well, I can't read this.
Yeah.
So he says like, basically this is, the 2 maps, and he even had exchanges with Avi and things. And Avi was saying like, oh no, the map is like, not even the important portion, the data is, or blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit.
Whatever.
If you care about the specifics on this specifically, you are probably at the wrong podcast. But point being, he has been called out for stealing in the past. I think that's the main takeaway here.
He's even smarter than I thought.
Yeah, I know. He's already a con artist.
He's already a con artist.
On the COVID data. What a nefarious little, what a way to dip your toe into the conning business.
Maybe that's why he didn't want to take the $8 million, because he stole all that shit and he wanted to bring spotlight to it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it was a volunteer group. I don't know. Like, if you're going to volunteer, it was a weird time. But I guess these people, their point was that they could have monetized on it, but they didn't want to because it's a pandemic.
Right.
And they felt like it was not appropriate to make money on something for the greater good. I don't know.
It is gross. We can all agree on that. But I mean, hey, Pfizer cleaned up, didn't they?
Pfizer sure cleaned up.
Yeah. Moderna.
They love it. They can't wait for another.
They fucking...
They're
they're in the lab right now, probably.
They're wandering the wet markets looking for weird animals. I'm just making up shit right now. If you work at Pfizer and you're a fan of this pod, please keep listening. Okay, he was really bad at school. So this is a plot twist.
Interesting.
I
bad
know.
at school. That makes me like him.
I know. I literally was writing. I was like, May's gonna like this guy.
I do like that.
He was very bad at school. Apparently, he actually dropped out of high school in spring of 2020, which that's not actually that revolutionary because everybody dropped out of school at that point because we got kicked out of school /work/life. It was spring of 2020.
Yeah, but he would still go on.
I know, class. But like I think he was just like, I'm not going to show up to this Zoom shit.
Yeah.
Like we're done.
Yeah.
He had a 1.7 GPA.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's pretty low.
Mm-hmm. That's you're not going to classes. You're not doing any tests.
No. And his whole thing was that traditional education was a waste of time. Why do homework when he could program websites with real world impact? Cool.
Touche.
I guess it's maybe hard for his parents to really argue with him on that one.
Yeah.
When he literally made like the COVID tracker for the country.
That's true.
So maybe he did make it and it wasn't his parents. Despite this was also, to be fair, this was a really difficult time for the country. So I think like people were going through it emotionally in a lot of different ways. Yeah. So maybe that contributed to him deciding that high school was a bust. But he left school and then he got accepted to Harvard when he sent in an application.
How? With a 1.7 GPA?
I think because Anthony Fauci
Oh.
wrote in all of this stuff here. This is exactly the kind of shit that Harvard's into.
The Anthony Fauci of it all.
Anthony Fauci. The Fauci of it all. But yeah, he submitted an application to Harvard and he told him all about the website. They let him in and he was excited to go there. You know, he really enjoyed being on campus and being involved with things. The Social Network was his favorite movie and it inspired him to do things with computers, which is a weird kind of a okay takeaway from that.
But it's interesting because it's like the main character, Mark Zuckerberg, in that movie was the villain.
Correct.
Everyone was like, he's an asshole.
He has no friends.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of ironic that he went to Harvard having the social network as his favorite one and now is making a fake friend?
Yeah.
It's kind of poetic. It's beautiful. Anyway, he beat Zuck's record. He dropped out after 1 semester at Harvard.
Bye, Harvard.
Zuckerberg made it through 3. So what a fucking loser.
Wow. Zuckerberg is a dork. He's like a fucking corporate swine, I guess.
Little
Like
school cuck.
Yeah, he's like a little schoolboy. He needs school to tell him what to do, Zuckerberg.
Yeah, exactly. All about the degrees,
Yeah,
not about the actual work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, 1 semester is like legitimately 3 months.
You literally.
Like, dude, what?
This kid was like, no.
I mean,
I
you
will
couldn't-
not learn about anything except for the thing that I want to do
1
specifically.
semester? Didn't you go to like a couple parties and be like, this was fun?
This man?
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Also, yeah. Okay. Anyway, so he dropped out. He was back on the streets to do more stuff. And he started this group, I guess, overarching thing called internet activism. And the whole point of it was to generate stuff for people who wanted to be involved in ways to outreach to crisis. I say crisis like kind of broadly because there's a lot of different things that would fall
Like a
under
hurricane
this.
or
A hurricane or like the Ukraine war or a
Yeah.
whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
When he was asked on a podcast like what he wanted to be remembered for, he replied, allowing far more people to be remembered. Which, what a great answer.
Yeah.
That's like a very, once again, diplomatic. You were 22, but like the point being, he wants to help make an impact for good and saving lives is what he's saying.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Sure.
So
Is this another fucking altruist?
Yeah. No. Oh no, kind of.
Okay.
He
What's that called
actually
again?
effective altruist.
Yeah. Okay.
So he actually evolves. It's like the next level of it. I wonder if we're going to see more of these people actually. So we'll get there in a minute though. So one of the sites that he makes that's underneath like internet activism is called the Ukraine refugee site. So which is a little ironic again for another reason I'll talk about later. But he created a website called Ukraine Takes Shelter, where it was basically a Craigslist for refugees.
Oh, wow.
Which is like, I hate that it's like a desk for refugees. And you're like,
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
okay. I don't know why, but that just formatting sounds.
It's like Grinder for refugees.
Yeah, we were like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That just feels inhumane. But either way, I'm sure this was a useful service. It essentially helped people who were trying to get housing and a bunch of different, shelter from the literal fucking Ukraine war.
Yeah.
Super fair. He co-founded it with this other guy, and they received a lot of backlash for initial lack of security measures, like identity verification, which is fair because those people were in a war. So they had an enemy.
Yeah.
So
And invested in, well, they're still in a war.
they're still in a war.
Yeah. Which nobody talks about anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not sexy to talk about anymore. But we're talking about it on Risque Business,
Yeah,
okay? That's what you
we're
come for.
hyper-focused over here.
We have exclusively talked about the Ukraine war
Every pod,
since it started.
every episode, this is our bringing it up again.
It's like enough already.
Yeah,
oh my
we
god.
get
But
it.
yeah.
They experts were concerned that this platform would make it easy to human traffic.
Oh, interesting.
It's not great.
Yeah.
You don't want to human traffic refugees.
No.
It's one of the things you don't want to do with them.
I bet there's a lot of that going on, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, desperate.
Where the fuck are they going to go?
Yeah.
Dark.
Very dark.
Dark. Sorry. Listen, I'd like for them to be able to go home. Call me old fashioned.
We don't make the rules, okay? We're not Putin.
I'm not human trafficking any refugees.
Speaking of Putin,
I was waiting for you to speak of Putin.
well, I was scrolling TikTok the other day, or maybe it was Instagram. It was TikTok, I believe. And it said at the bottom of this like TikTok, it said this is like a Russian like source or something like that. And it flagged it, and I was like, "Oh, that's so interesting that it's flagging it from Russia, so that there must be some new law or something."
I kind of love that.
Yeah, it's really good.
I wonder. Wait, I wish you knew. Was it TikTok for sure?
I'm almost 100% positive it was TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah,
because that's pretty important.
yeah. I'm almost 100% positive, but I was like, "That's really interesting." And then I've told you this before that randomly I'll get on like Putin sympathizing TikTok.
Yes, I know.
And they show me like Putin kissing kittens and shit
without his shirt on. And you're like, oh, I'm listening.
No, it's literally like, look how sad he is when the kitten has to leave, and it's Putin like, It's so fucking crazy. And I'm sure that was obviously from Russia, but now they're labeling it. So next one I'll come across, which
Well,
I'm sure
also, I mean, if you watch the Putin kissing a kitten and being sad, you don't think that's from Russia?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, what? I'm not generating that content here and posting it. That's very clearly a Russian.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, Putin, they can never get me to like you.
He's like, just you wait. I'll get you.
Oh my God.
You're my North Star, May.
It's so funny that they're just trying to get me to like Putin.
For like no reason. Even if you did, it'd be like, okay.
Yeah, if I liked, what's that going to do for you?
Well, I guess at scale it'd be important, but that's a lot of Putin kissing kittens.
It's so
a lot
ridiculous.
of that. Anyway, Schiffman didn't give a shit about it.
Who's Schiffman?
Schiffman is Avi. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Avi
Sorry.
Schiffman.
I should know. I
You
wrote it on
down.
the board. Ugh, I'm an idiot.
Okay, so he was not impressed with the people who were saying that he was human trafficking refugees. He goes, I don't give a shit if I'm human trafficking refugees. He said, sit there with all your PhDs and complain. We never had one issue. We housed over 100,000 Ukrainians. Fuck off.
You know what?
Kind of epic.
Good on him, because he's like, okay, so this is a hypothetical thing that you're going to shut down this really good service for. It hasn't happened.
Blow me.
So, like, all in all, it's been a really positive thing. And
We have a exclusive relationship with 90 Day Fiance, and you're not going to fuck this up for me. We have a lot of Ukrainians getting married, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, the exact numbers are hard to independently verify. So he might be talking out of his asshole
Okay.
about those numbers, but whatever. I don't disagree with him on this one. This sounds like a nice little... He tried to do a nice thing, and hopefully it did mostly nice things and not too much trafficking.
Well, we'll see.
Other initiatives
God
that
forbid.
he did in his nonprofit world, he focused on a website that helped people find local protests in the wake of the murder of George Floyd.
Okay.
And then he also did a lot of information leading up to the 2020 election for, I guess, voters registration and stuff like that.
All right.
So he was really in the 2020 activism world.
Oh, I hated that
Industrial
world,
complex.
Oh,
Exhausting.
Exhausting
world.
A lot of theatrics.
Really was.
Yeah.
A lot of human trafficking. Okay.
So much trafficking.
So much trafficking. He
That's all it
then
was doing.
trafficked himself down to the Bay Area.
Okay.
And he decided to leave the world of nonprofits. He described that world as bureaucratically like sluggish.
Yeah.
And that it was a real pain in the ass. He said to raise money for a nonprofits, you have to beg people for like $2,500. And he also said that they were really time consuming and annoying versus with a normal startup that's like for profit. You have some stupid Google Doc idea and you're going to get funding very fast. So he was basically saying nonprofits are hard and I don't like them.
Yeah, but they are ineffective and they are sluggish. I mean, everything he said is completely true.
Yeah. I think it's just interesting to know how hard he was going in it. And I guess he was just like excited to be involved out the gate and like to be able to make a service that was being used by a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But then got really disenchanted with that entire world and left it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is actually interesting. So he got mad, apparently for nonprofit funding. He would have to go to these things and network with a ton of people at conferences. And he was really bad at it. And he would never remember people's names.
I'm
or
like why?
Yeah, I know. Never be able to remember people's names or any of the stuff. And so as a result, it was difficult for him to fundraise. Hence, the eventual inspiration for
Friend AI.
Friend AI. Turn that bad boy into a tool. He said that fundraising for actual startups for profit was very easy. People believe in individuals. I'm very careful with how I present myself online and definitely try and craft an image. Then he gets asked like what he's trying to craft his image for. And he becomes a real tool and he goes, I'm here to conquer, dude. Literally right above this computer here, I've got a giant poster of Caesar crossing the Rubicon. Then someone asks for it and that's it. That's his. This is a bust. So maybe he has that and a poster. Bust of fucking Caesar. Because he's going to conquer whatever the Bay Area world that he's looking to conquer is.
Okay.
AI wearables as a friend. That is, Caesar had Rome and all that shit. He has wearable pendants.
Great.
That are your friend.
Also, I feel like this is something that Google's going to, if this has any semblance of success, Google will come out
Amazon.
with, and Amazon, and it'll be like, boom.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, they'll maybe try to, his best bet is like some nice copyright on some IP.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, well, here's like $8 million.
Right.
And it's like, fuck, I should have just taken that when I was 17 and moved on with my life.
Yeah. Remember the Google glasses that never worked?
I know. They love trying to force us to wear shit.
I'm not wearing it.
I'm not going to wear it, dude. Because
I
want to have real life friends.
Yeah.
And that's a key way to get rid of them.
Yeah, it is. And I also like,
what if I just showed up to this pod and I'm like, in my Google lenses, and you're like,
I mean, I also feel like the way that we spend time on our phones, it's like disgusting enough. You know what I mean?
I don't need another
more to it. Like, even when you're in the subway, every single person is just like this. It's like,
even Apple Watches, I think, have gone out of vogue.
Yeah, they're out of vogue because people do not like getting notifications all the time. It's like,
yeah, they were so much anxiety. Oh,
yeah. You can't even
stress me the fuck out.
The illusion of like you're unplugging because you still have your fucking phone on your wrist.
And I remember what really got me is when I realized I had a pretty intense watch tan line from it.
Oh wow!
And I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. I look awful. So I took it off, and now I just wear this stupid ring. The Aura ring. I like the Aura ring. We are not sponsored by it, but I like it because it just tells me that I sleep poorly. And I say, I know. All right. And we carry on.
Yeah.
Okay. So then what is he going to be doing if it's not in the not profits? They asked him and he said, just vibes, bro. I don't know. I'm just going to work in whatever I'm interested in.
Okay.
So he's kind of, you notice how his persona has changed quite a bit from young 17-year-old child to now this guy. That is an adult-ish. Barely. 21 to 22-year-old wearing this pendant and a Pink Floyd shirt.
The pendant's too big.
His new Twitter bio has him blonde.
Oh, okay, so he's like a hype beast now.
No, literally, that's what he's trying. It looks like that's what he's trying to get into.
Yeah. Okay.
I hate this look on him.
It looks
Avi,
terrible.
if you're listening, cut that shit out.
It does look really bad.
Looks really bad.
I hate it.
Really don't like it.
Mm-mm.
Where was I? Okay, so that's him. Oh, and now he calls himself an effective accelerationism.
Oh, God.
And I think that's going to be the new one.
I guess so.
The old one was effective altruist. If you haven't listened to the podcast, we talked about
Sam
it with
Bankman-Fried.
We talked about it with the Sam Bankman-Fried, but I think it's come up on a couple of them now.
Yeah, I think so.
But effective altruists are the people who do things to create the most good, which is a really great way to excuse yourself doing evil for profit.
Yes.
It's a really good way because ultimately you're doing a ton of good that you get to decide and judge and be the arbiter on.
Right.
So now the new one is effective accelerationism. And this is an ideology holding that speeding up technological progress and creating super intelligent AI will bring about utopia.
Oh my God. For who?
For the people who founded the companies that get a high valuation. It's a very small, specific, granular utopia. But for them, whoo!
Wow.
Whoo, baby.
Does it hit for them?
Goes down smooth. Works great.
Okay, this man is going to end up in jail.
Probably, right?
Yeah, 100%. We're going to see him in jail in 5 years.
I mean, and it's funny because he hasn't even done anything yet, but I'm like, I just know this
prototype.
Vibe,
we've seen it 1,000 times on this podcast.
And he just wants, yeah. It's giving SBF. It's giving all these other folks that we've seen.
It's too chaotic.
You haven't done it yet. Maybe this is your wake-up call. Maybe you're going to listen to us and say, oh,
no,
I'm being a fucking tool.
He's very self-righteous and he's also very, like no one can tell him anything. Like someone could be like, oh, you're doing this thing that's really fucked up. And he's like, you don't understand the vision.
Just don't
You're
understand
stupid.
The mission.
I'm just going to quit you, whatever, bye.
I had tens of millions of followers on COVID-19.com.
Yeah.
I was a Webby person of the year. How dare you? Okay, so anyway, He created, his decision was in his effective accelerationism. I can't even say that word. It's difficult.
It's too much.
It's a lot of syllables. So he created Tab. Tab was the original name of the necklace that we were talking about.
Okay.
It's both a necklace that records all your interactions and, like we were talking about, an AI chatbot on a mobile app. The app uses OpenAI's large language models, GPT-4, to get the most important details from the conversations and then save it in a structured database. So kind of already talked about that for a while, but that was his version. Importantly, it's called Tab at this point. But it is a necklace and it does all the shit that we were talking about. He was given $1.9 million to create this and to go out and try to sell it to people.
Okay.
And it was originally called a superpower Tamagotchi.
Oh my God, Polly Pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I miss Tamagotchis. They should honestly, they should make a superpowered Tamagotchi.
That would be fun.
If they made one that had like a lot of shit you could do with it and you put it in your pocket, it would be pretty nice.
That's nice. You stay off your phone.
I want it as a separate thing.
Yeah. I don't want it as an app. I want like piece of equipment.
I want it like an air tag.
I want it to be
and
on
maybe
my belt.
Cute.
I want to wear a belt and have it hook onto my belt.
Yeah. I want it ideally to be as much like my cat as possible.
Yes.
So I can bring it with me. Maybe it's a live stream of my cat. Do we have an idea? Should I go pitch this?
That could be something.
I think that has legs. Okay, so he is super effective on promoting it. He goes on Twitter and he just like promotes it all the time. He's gotten a decent Twitter following as a result on this whole thing. He's kind of like exactly the prototype of the bullshit people that would do well, especially in that community. At one point, he even said, at this point, I'm like 5% Tab. He uses it himself quite a bit. The conversations we have together are finding patterns in my life I'd never see otherwise and sticking in the back of my mind. Point being, very, very into this little device he has, which is not yet available for the broader public, but has prototypes and obviously one for him, the founder.
Yeah. And
he's done a ton of press for it. A lot of it seems like PR. I got to say, like half the articles I looked at, I was like, this is just an ad.
Yeah.
Like you have a great PR person because there are so many of them, specifically the Times of India, which I've got to say, I've been on this website way more than I anticipated I've ever been in my life. I am forever on the timesofindia.com.
I feel like I've also spent a good amount of time on Times of India. Just like for this podcast, Times of India really, it's got the stories.
It's got the goods. It's got the info you need. But a ton of them. And what's interesting, I think what this PR team is doing that's really smart is a lot of them are like hating on it. Like some of them are very much positive, but even the ones that are hating on it, like bring up a lot of the features with a little bit too much information where I'm it's given PR.
Yeah.
It's given a PR person who's like being smart.
Yeah. Who's being like, listen, people are going to talk about it if there's something negative to say.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to talk about it. If you just go on and be like, this is an applicable thing to use at work conferences, no one will talk about that.
No, everyone's like,
no one.
It's a good idea, but I don't care.
I don't care. Is my company going to buy me one?
Yeah, until they do.
Because I don't fucking want one.
Fuck off. I don't give a shit.
Ugh.
Okay, so let's talk about his arch nemesis, Nik S, as we're going to call him. There's not nearly as much information on him. This is going to be a much more shorter portion.
Who
because
the fuck are you, number
Who are
two?
you? Number 2, you are Russian. That's something you can put there. He is from Russia. Is that a Russian accent? I don't know.
Yeah.
He is a Thiel Fellow, so he got one of the grants or whatever from Peter Thiel. Remember him?
Oh, I do. Oh my God.
Of being gay fame.
You know, what's crazy is they're doing a movie about that Gawker thing.
That's great.
Is that amazing?
That needs to be a movie.
It's gonna be so good.
You know, it really does.
So
we
good.
maybe should almost like redo that episode, like a
live action.
In honor of the movie.
Live action role play on the Gawker situation. How fucking crazy was that story?
That was
so
wild.
Fun.
If you don't know what we're talking about, we did do an episode like back when we were new at this, so it's probably not very good. But it was fun.
So fun.
Where we talked about how Peter Thiel
funded Hulk Hogan's lawsuit against Gawker because Hulk Hogan was caught like saying the N-word and banging his best friend, like Bubba the Shrimp or something like that's wife.
Yeah. And Gawker wrote about it, and it was great.
And it was amazing.
And I actually wasn't Grindr involved?
No, I think that maybe it was, but Peter Thiel didn't like that Gawker had previously outed him.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah.
But also probably Grindr was involved.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nick is also I have no idea if he's gay or not. Actually, I don't think he is, because he did post on Reddit about looking for dates and stuff.
Oh, God.
I know.
These people.
I know. So he is the founder of Based Hardware, kind of an epic name, based in San Francisco, and he is looking for hardware design co-founders. So if you are a hardware or design person who would like to work with Nick after we tell you about him, it's an option.
Okay.
He is Russian. Why is he living in San Francisco? Because he fled Russia because of the war.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I read this very distressing article on TechCrunch that came out around 2022. Again, related to the Ukraine war. I think it's the Ukraine war. Russia's fighting like all over the fucking place. So I don't.
Okay. One of their wars.
Point being, apparently a lot of people were obviously leaving because of the war and because they were concerned with the government there and being enlisted and stuff like that. And IT professionals specifically were not allowed to leave.
Interesting.
I know. So there was this article, it was really sad, where they were,
scares me.
It was sad. And they were interviewing these people who had been able to escape, and they were saying, like, if you had anything related to IT that the government found out about that you knew how to do, they wouldn't allow you to go.
Wow.
So, and he was interviewed in this article. So they go, at that point, he was running the startup called We Love No Code. He's very into the open source world, like all the code that is that's free and available for everybody to use, which I think it's really cool and awesome. Mm-hmm. And he had decided to leave Russia, fearing that martial law would be introduced there, forcing the borders shut. So he had bought a plane ticket to Portugal, which is where he was when they did this article in 2022. And he says, first they close the borders and then they force you to kill. I'm fit for military service, unfortunately, but I don't want to kill innocent people.
Wow.
So dark.
That might be where it's headed, I guess.
Well, no, I think they already have drafted people and stuff like that.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
I mean, and that's, if you don't agree,
Yikes.
yeah, I mean, poor guy.
Yeah.
So,
Russian history is fucking crazy.
I mean, and to be fair, like a lot of countries, obviously,
That's
if you
true.
get drafted, it's like, well, you're fighting, dude. Obviously terrible. I'm like, hot take, war. Bad. Not great.
I was driving in a car with a few comics recently. We were talking about war. And we were like,
did you solve it?
Yeah. But we did. But it was just like so funny. We kept being like, it's so insane to go to war. We were like, it's insane. We were like, war. It's fucking crazy. And we were like, so like, because like 10 politicians sat in a room, they were like, okay, hundreds of thousands of people's sons and daughters get to die. We were like, it's so fucking batshit when you really think about.
Oh yeah.
You're just like fighting for God knows what. Even like back in like Vietnam, they were just like, I don't know what the fuck we're fighting, but we have to.
No one in charge even knows why we're fighting.
Right.
But we be fighting.
Yeah.
Also remember back in the day where my dad was telling me about this, when they did the draft, they would do this like weird like
yes.
The balls
like a bingo thing.
Yeah, ball. What is that thing?
I don't know what it's called. Yeah.
Where the balls all have a number on them, and it was like the year you were born or something along those lines, and it was like a color. I might be getting the details slightly wrong, but
that's how I remember it.
The theme of this is correct. And on live TV, it would come out, and they'd be like 1993, obviously the wrong year. If blue zone, you're fucked. Like you're all going to war, and all the people who matched to that were like, oh my God,
yeah,
I gotta go.
We're literally going to war.
Crazy, dude.
It's so insane. Also, because it's our government, I assume that's rigged. They're like, we're going to do Minnesota, where every man is 6'6".
And slept with my ex.
Yeah.
If you slept with my ex, you're going to war. I know. So, I mean, so grateful to live in an area where at least, I don't know, like we haven't had it as this is crazy. The fact that they had to go through this is insane. He said in March, more than a week after the war broke out, there were people leaving, and everyone who was, this was like pretty soon, so like the people who were normal and wanted to leave were being let out pretty normally at that point. But if the guards at the border heard the word IT, those people were taken away for questioning. Other programmers were reporting the same thing. Like if they heard the word software tester or online platform, they were sent to some room and basically detained and said, get the fuck back out there because we're going to need you.
Yeah. Oh my God. The cyber attacks are coming, you guys. They are.
Systems administrator, same deal. And they would take your phone, I guess, and search for protest, Ukraine, Putin, and war in your chat and browser history.
Whoa.
Nah, it's nuts. This is this also, by the way, like it's not like CNN. Like it's a random TechCrunch article about specifically the IT industry.
Damn, that's so nuts. That's really scary.
I know, really scary. And then he was actually quoted as saying, IT people who have fled Russia do not want to waste their abilities on war and other crap that negatively affects humanity. IT is the internet, and the internet is freedom. I think this is why I have a real soft spot for this guy. After I saw this article, which by the way is mentioned nowhere else.
Yeah, right?
I was just like, okay, like, fuck.
Hello?
This guy's been through it. And also, I mean, maybe he's like a scumbag. He's like, and women shouldn't vote. And I'm like, okay, well, not that part. But I'm glad that you have an issue with, point being, I feel very bad for him.
Maybe he's a Russian spy.
And he obviously doesn't have, like, so he literally fled from war, so he doesn't have a massive support system behind him. That's another important thing, is he's coming here like a true immigrant with, like, talent that he wants to come and, like, build a better life for himself. I really think it's cool that they have that still and that people can go, I want our country to remain a place where people feel comfortable doing that.
Well,
we're going to fucking fuck it up, so no. Anyway, but he came here to do a really silly thing. He wanted to build and open his own wearable AI necklace on open source software. That is the difference. And I think he was just kind of, again, looking for like, what's one of the ideas? Like, what would be useful?
Right.
This is not fucking rocket science. That does make sense.
If you have a good idea,
useful.
Other people are going to have the same idea.
Yes. So he founded the company Based Hardware. Again, they're using a lot of open source stuff within their group. And he shows up on LinkedIn Lunatics on Reddit, which, by the way, great subreddit. High key recommend. He is on there quite a bit of people being like, this guy, weird as fuck. Weird as fuck. And again, I kind of like him for it. This is him. This is one of his posts on LinkedIn Lunatics where he's posted on LinkedIn a picture of him in like literally like a Soviet bed.
It looks so bad. It looks like he's in jail.
It does look like he's in jail. And someone actually said that based on like the background in the picture, this is a bad area of San Francisco that he's in.
Like the Tenderloin or something.
It's not. I don't know if it's quite the Tenderloin, but it's not a great area. Tenderloin's fucking terrifying.
Tenderloin is insane.
It's terrifying. I got chased by a homeless guy last time I was there.
I believe
I was at a conference.
Remember, or have you ever watched those YouTubes where someone just like walks through the Tenderloin and it's just like video footage? It's really something else.
Oh, I know. They gotta
really
figure
sad.
that out. But anyway, San Francisco, if you're listening, figure that out. But he is, he's sitting on this like twin bed that is not made. You'd think if you were going to post these pictures to LinkedIn, you'd make your bed.
He's a 22-year-old man.
He's a 22-year-old man. He's like, this bed's made. What are you fucking talking about?
It's like totally made to him. And also, it's and there's no headboard. And he has like a little orthopedic pillow in the back.
Yeah, it's real depressing. But anyway, the point of the post is he's sitting there with his laptop. And it's Saturday. It's time to read Elon Musk. Heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji. It looks like he's trying to fuck Elon Musk. Also, he's like, come to bed with me.
What does reading Elon Musk even mean? It's not like Elon Musk is putting out a Substack.
I think.
You know what I mean? It's like
I think it must be like the language barrier or something like that.
Yeah.
Where he's like looking at his Twitter feed or something along those lines.
Or maybe,
catching up on the tweets.
I guess. I don't know.
But he like loves Elon Musk. He thinks that guy's got his shit fucking
young boys do.
Figured out. Young Russians, big fan of Mr. Elon. So he posts that, 14 likes. Pathetic.
That is pathetic.
On LinkedIn? LinkedIn's fucking easy. And then other times that he has shown up on LinkedIn, he apparently this one was really funny. As a birthday celebration on the 20th September, I'll randomly select 3 of my new Instagram followers. He includes an Instagram link.
Yeah.
And will offer each of them 1 hour of free mentoring.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And then includes a link to his Instagram.
And it only gets 3 likes.
3 likes, 1 comment.
No wonder he needs a friend. He can't even have friends
For
on LinkedIn.
mentoring, everyone's like, dude, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm fucking good, dude.
No thanks.
And I feel for him. I'm like, oh.
I also love how low he's going. He's like, if I could just get like 3 more people
Yeah.
for Instagram. Most people would be like, for my next 100 followers or at least or something.
He's just, but it's so funny because like this kind of stuff is weirdly endearing to me.
Super
Right?
Super endearing. Yeah.
And it's literally batshit crazy. But I'm like, oh, guy's trying. And he's like just getting out there and like hustling. And he's a war fucking refugee or something like that.
He's trying to make
He's
it
on
work.
UkrainianRefugees.com.
I would call this humble.
Humble. And he's just really nerdy and earnest. What did I link here? What nice surprise am I about to put us? Oh, so I'll play this in a moment. So he is using this company that he's created, Based Hardware, to create, as I mentioned, the Based Friend. And the Friend is going to be, again, a wearable necklace that does very similar to what we were describing with Tab earlier. So that brings us to the beef. I'm going to play the thing I just opened in a second. But first, I want to play this other one because I think the difference between the two is pretty interesting. So on July 30th of 2024, World Friendship Day, cannot believe we missed it. Again. World Friendship Day, Avi, number 1, decides to launch friend.com. The most original consumer product in recent years. Basically, he goes this whole thing, like limited to the iPod, or like this will be like the iPod. If you're a journalist, please hit us up, blah, blah, blah. Ship dates and final pricing will be released. But basically, this was like the major launch of their wearable AI, starting to take orders and pre-orders. Great. Included in this, he launches the now infamous ad that came with this, which I'm curious to see what you think of this bad boy.
Okay.
Let's see. Is there going to be an ad? There is an ad on front of the ad.
God damn it.
God damn it. One of these days, I will get YouTube Premium. Okay, let's see.
Gosh, I'm out of breath. We made it.
Woman walking by herself in that.
I don't know how to woo very good. That's fair. All right.
Her AI thing has texted her, well, at least we're outside.
Let me show you
Her
how
AI
to
wearable.
okay? Oh, come on. Oh, let's go.
Are you serious? Come on, man. I hate this game.
Guy is getting his ass kicked in video games.
Take notes, baby.
Oh, man, you guys suck.
Bro, you look like the back
Let's go. Let's go.
Dude, what?
AI is shit talking him.
I know the effects are crazy. It's dank. I could eat one of these every day.
Dank.
This woman is
Sorry,
talking
got
to
you
the
messy.
AI about her falafel.
In 2010
It's
lingo.
really nice up here. How'd you find this place?
Woman's on a
know.
date.
I just kind of like to come up here to be by myself. I've never brought anybody else. I mean, besides her.
She goes everywhere with you, right?
Mhm.
Guess I must be doing something right then.
I guess so.
So uncomfortable.
We'll see.
No, I'm sorry. It's a Black Mirror episode.
It literally.
It's a Black Mirror
It's
episode.
literally so. Isn't that so disconcerting?
I can't deal
I
with
watched
it.
it earlier today and I was like, I'm creeped out.
You know what I think? I don't
In a
know why
big way.
I had this thought as I was watching it, but I was like, I feel like the art of sarcasm is going to be gone with this next generation because they're going to have these earnest, real texts coming from this fucking fake friend. And I don't.
Yeah. I mean,
The art of like fucking with each other is
so I know, right? I mean, people need to be bullied more, I think is the big takeaway from this. If I was on a date with a guy and he was wearing, no,
No.
Date's over. So in the last scene, obviously if you're just listening, you didn't see what happened, but she's on the date and she has the urge to like tap the AI, which creates a result from it, like makes it respond to you. And she puts her hand down. So like she's trying to fight the impulse to touch her AI while she's on a bad date.
It's hard enough to stay off your phone. I mean, do we need another thing to be addicted to?
It was well shot. I will tell you this. They did not waste money on
No.
they did not spare any money.
You know what though? I mean, it looked like a Black Mirror episode. If that was the beginning of a Black Mirror, I would say okay.
I sent it to Matt and I was like, what do you think of this? And he goes, oh, is this like a movie?
Yeah.
Like a movie trailer?
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's a real thing. And he goes, no, I think it's like a movie
that
they're going to do in this like some underground marketing. I'm like, I mean, there's a lot of background in that case. They've really done some back work.
It makes me
It would be actually, I'd feel more comfortable if this did end up being a movie.
Yeah.
Some guerrilla marketing.
I mean, I already feel so like grossed out by humanity and technology and all this stuff. Like, I don't know. I've been going to this acting class recently. It's been nice. And it's like that. And when I'm literally on stage during stand up is the only time I'm actually present. And right now.
Yeah.
But like, besides those times in my life, I am thinking about my phone. I'm thinking about something else I saw. Like, it's like
it's
so
very hard to keep
difficult.
focus.
Yeah. And like, I feel like my focus in general is really all over the place. And then with all of this stuff that you have to pay attention to, I feel like I have developed ADHD. Like I feel like
can that happen?
I really feel like I
Late
have
onset ADHD.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I now have ADHD. If like I have a task that's going to take me 10 minutes, I'm like, oh my, like, okay, I'll go through like 5 minutes of it and then I'll look at my phone for a bit.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, this is crazy.
I know, it's not good.
It's really unhealthy and I'm just so tired of these new things. And I don't want to be like the old fart who's like, you know, I'll be like 50 and my son's like, Mom, you got to get with it with this. And I'm like, I don't want to get with it. I don't want to. And I sound like my parents now. You know what I mean? Like,
and I mean, that's just on the focus component.
Yeah.
That's not even touching on the fact that people are outsourcing their social battery to this AI.
Yeah.
I'm like, get in a group chat.
Get in a group chat.
Talk to some people.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
No, it's crazy.
If you do this, then you don't feel the need to go and engage with people. And then
then no one's engaging with anyone.
Oh, it's just so
like,
sad.
Like that one where that girl was eating the falafel and watching the show. I was like, how many times have we sat in front of a TV separately in our apartments and me, you, and Kelly, friend of the pod, will like chat each other about what's going on in the show.
And it's like
fun.
it's fun and you build a relationship.
I feel like I'm socializing.
Because you are.
Even though you guys aren't in person with me.
Yes, because you are.
Yeah,
exactly. So anyway, carrying on with this conversation. So that was the version that we just saw for Avi's company. That was the ad that he released for his wearable. Meanwhile, I want you to see the demo like trailer thing that was released by Based Hardware for theirs. Friend.
This is Friend. It transforms your conversations into memories and proactive insights. It operates passively without interrupting your day. It stores everything locally, so you are in control of your own data. It structures my conversations into memories with calendar invitations, action items, and proactive
What are you
insights.
saying, dude?
For your workday, seamlessly keeps track of what you need to get
Can
done.
you give me the Q3 report when you have a chance? Sure. Thank you.
Look how innocent he
Whether
is.
in
So
person
cute.
or remote, it transcribes meetings, highlighting important information all in one place. Have your reminders and events automatically added to your favorite apps. Friend creates and updates profiles of people you interact with. Stay sharp with learning enhancements from music to languages.
He just got these really bad reenactment actors.
It's probably employees.
Yeah.
Probably just his fucking actual friends.
Stays always with you. And at the end of the day, it will give you a daily summary. It has onboard memory, a speaker, and vibration, so you can use it away from your phone. And it's all packed in this beautiful lightweight design. We offer a true open source platform.
Away
with a
from your
community
phone
of
sounds
more than
good.
3,000 developers and marketplace of plugins. From a doctor-patient summary to a lecture summary if you are a student. friend redefines memory and productivity. We are excited for you to unlock your potential.
How pure
How pure. It's like so silly and so nice.
compared to the one like
Yeah.
I leave that one and I'm like, that's not a bad idea. It was a little feature forward.
It
little
was
feature
definitely
forward.
feature forward. However, I do
Good
think
features that made sense.
they were good features that made sense, and also I liked how he literally said you can use it away from your phone. So it's like, okay, if I'm gonna go like for a walk or something, if Mark needs to know where I am, he's like, there she is in Central Park,
Right.
or like things like that. Like, and then if I talk to someone and I'm like, oh shit, I was supposed to send them a fucking recipe. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Like,
And I
like
get back to my phone and it's like reminder to do this.
all
Like,
the stuff that
that's
we were
not bad.
talking about that would be actually useful.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like that's what he was focusing on. And I also like that he was talking about it's open source. Like we have this community of developers who are creating additional applications for this thing, which is cool. It was so much more wholesome and pure than the real weird psycho fucking horror flick
Yeah.
that I saw that was much better shot and way easier to understand.
That was scary.
That one was nerve wracking.
It was scary.
So anyway, going back to, so this, like the timelines on these don't really matter. The going back to when that commercial, like the first one that we watched that was really crazy came out, and then 12 hours after that trailer was released, Nick released this video on a Twitter thread with Avi.
Okay.
This is my favorite part. Hold on, we'll restart it because it's important. Because this is important.
Okay.
For the know, I built friend. Renamed your tab, jacked my style, built nothing real, it's been a while. Investor cash, you burn quick, I'm grinding hard, tracks in my peak. Don't be game, what is the proof? All you're gonna squeeze, no roof. And the founder,
No roof.
User shadow, can't understand. I view your jokes, spend a meal on the name. Can ship a thing, just Twitter fame. Brain and yours, riding my wave. Open source fam, digging your grave. Take a seat, I've learned the grind. You're wasting cash, I'm building in time. Respect the game, respect the source. I'm the real friend, the AI 4.
Oh my God, he's trying to do like a Drake versus.
He's Kendrick. He's Kendricking him.
Yeah, he's Kendricking him. That's amazing.
You're so pure.
He's so nice.
I built friend.
I believe him though. I don't know why, but I believe him.
I know, right? I
Yeah.
mean, the reality is they're arguing. So he is mad. He's big feelings, saying that Avi was stealing the friend concept from him, and then notably the name. Listen. They are both releasing, of course, a wearable AI companion around the same time. That means they're direct competitors. But again, as we were talking about, this is not the first time something like this has come around. It hasn't worked in the past, blah, 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 whatever. But he is saying that Avi stole the entire concept from him. And also, you might have noticed that he said that you were wasting your founder's money, spent $1 million on a domain. Well, it turns out that Avi, remember how he had raised at this point now 2.5 million? He had originally raised, I guess, like 1.8, I think it was the first one we said. He spent $1.8 million
Out of the 2.5.
out of the 2.5 of the investor money on a website called friend.com to purchase friend.com.
Damn, that is expensive. We should be buying up really catchy URLs.
I know. I think that unfortunately those have all been, someone else came up with that idea literally
Yeah,
1999.
I know.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Good for them. And they're making money off of people like Avi. How I would be so fucking mad if I had given him all that money and he spent 1.8 of it on friend.com.
No, it's crazy.
Friend.com. Ridiculous. But yeah, so it was legit. 404 Media put that out and they go like, that's nuts. And
Wow.
everybody online was like, what, dude?
Holy
and it's
crap.
generated so much buzz. Between this and the rap that we just saw,
Yeah.
things are fucking like,
Yeah.
that is unhinged behavior on Nick's part, on Avi's part, on everybody's part. So what they're actually arguing about is the actual name friend itself. Avi is saying that Nick copied him. I started working on Tab. If you recall, it originally was called Tab back in May of last year and had a viral demo of it in October as the first wearable always on AI.
Oh, interesting.
Everybody in the Bay Area knows this, and Nick and others tried to copy the idea and make open source versions, which is fine. And earlier this year, I rebranded to friend.com in February. Someone told Nick I rebranded to friend before I announced, and he copied that so that he was also rebranded to friend in April.
Oh.
That's what Avi says. Nick says that Avi copied him. He said how he got to that name is we were at a hackathon and we had pretty much 1 hour to decide on the name. There were maybe 20 people suggesting random names and someone said friend. We had an hour to make the decision and posted it. Yesterday, they dropped their own version of Friend, which was renamed to Friend from a company called Tab after we launched. He's never even sold any products, never even sold product with that domain name. Great. So between the two, realistically, I don't fucking give a shit who gets the name Friend.
Yeah.
The reality is you're both making like the same thing. And I think that Nick probably did copy Avi on it.
Okay.
And is using this as a way to get additional traction for his open source version.
Interesting. Yeah.
Which again does sound less terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not a fucking expert here. But Nick decides to take this one step further in the Twitter thread, suggesting that they fight.
Okay, he really loves Elon Musk. This is what this is.
He really does.
All of this is the playbook.
It's Elon Musk coded.
Mm-hmm.
He replies in this thread where he's like talking shit about Avi, and he says, many people suggested us to fight. I'm officially inviting at Avi Schiffman to fight with me. Do you take the offer?
This is so like influencer coded.
It
So
really
many
is.
people have asked me about my skincare routine.
So many people have asked me, and I will fight them. And then it is a picture of him shirtless, minus, of course, a friend pendant, doing muscles. And I have to say, this is the weakest boy I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he looks really scrawny.
He is very scrawny. He has clearly spent a lot of time coding and behind a computer and has never been to the gym. And you know what? That's totally fine. But I don't know why you're trying to fight and put shirtless pictures up as a result. Stay in your lane. Maybe a hackathon fight.
Oh, yeah.
That would be good.
fun.
But he is suggesting hand-to-hand combat.
Okay.
I'm like, I thought you didn't want to fight in a war. Come on, Nick.
That's true.
And that's basically where this ends.
Okay.
There's no conclusion. They're just out there. And Nick basically, Avi replied and was like, people keep asking me about this Nick guy. I don't fucking know.
Oh,
but
really?
I think Nick is just trying to like take advantage of the clearly immense amount of marketing money that Avi has spent on getting this thing pushed forward.
Yeah.
It's smart. Mm-hmm. It's very scrappy too, because I don't think he has nearly as much money in his technology. A lot of it's open source. There's not as much profit to be made. I'm Team Nick. I kind of fucking like him.
I like him too. I like his applications of it. It was all like work based. He wasn't trying to like make it seem like it was going to take over your life.
Yeah.
I think.
And he was a good rapper.
And he was very much so for a second language rap.
That's true. Oh my God. Can you imagine if they were
rapping
like
in Russian?
Write a rap in Russian.
Oh my God. I would.
And then post it on LinkedIn.
I would need to study Russian for 5 years.
Absolutely.
Every day, all day.
And I would still not do as well as that.
No, that was very good.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with him. I mean, honestly, they're both impressive, right? And this whole thing, I'm sure it'll find its community of people who are into it, or maybe not. And maybe we'll continue on with the world. But yeah, that's the story.
That's it. Wow.
Good stuff.
Well, this makes me scared for humanity.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
We're fucked.
We are fucked. We really are fucked. I do think like weirdly it'll help things like stand-up comedians in the sense that like I said before, like going to a comedy show is a place that you have to put your phone down and you have to be present.
People want that.
People are craving that because you have to seek that out nowadays, which is kind of insane.
Yeah. Being focused.
Being present. Just being like, hey, I'm in this room.
Yeah. This is not Netflix. That's one of my favorite things to tell people. It's like, this is real.
Yeah.
Like, not your phone, not TV.
Yeah.
Like if I'm hosting, just reminding people like,
we
know you're there.
Right.
And you know, this is a back forth. This is a two-way street.
It's a two-way street.
So, guys, this has also been a two-way street. We hope you have enjoyed this podcast, enjoyed learning about Friend, whatever company that ends up being between these two. And I hope you come back to us next week when we talk about whatever nonsense we decide we want to bring to you next. In the meantime, why don't you go ahead and give us a review?
Go ahead and do that.
Smash that 5 stars. Do other things, but mostly smash the 5 stars and hit submit. Write a couple words.
Go ahead and do that.
Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram, etc. at Risque Business News, at Laura Sogar.
At May_Planert.
And then come see us live. I don't know when this one's going to come out because we are banking a few because I'm going to see Taylor Swift in Europe.
Oh, that's going to be sick. Maybe, unless she has a terrorist attack.
I know.
We should have talked about that.
I know, we should have talked about that.
Let's talk about that next time.
We'll talk about that next time. Hopefully it'll be only about the Vienna one.
Yeah, right?
Because I'm going to the one in London, which is still on.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, point being, come see us live. Probably check our Instagram because who knows when this is coming out.
God only knows. Yeah, check. I actually have a show in October I'm pushing pretty heavily.
It'll be out before then.
I will be out definitely before October. October 4th and 5th, I'm headlining Nick's Comedy Stop in Boston, Massachusetts.
Hell yeah, brother.
So if you live in Boston, Massachusetts, and or the
Greater Tri-State,
Greater Metropolitan Area of Boston, check it out.